Hello and welcome to WarBlog. This is the new introductory video for the game, warblog.co.uk, and I'm going to give you a basic introduction to the game and all that. Essentially it's an online game. It's a war blog, so it's a mixture of what's new and current. For example, events in Syria at the moment, the Middle East, and also historic battles. The aim is to do a different battle every now and then. There's no set deadline. It could be a month before I do anything else. Sometimes I do things, 2 or 3 things in a week. I've even got tentative plans to do one a day if I have the time. If I was on holiday or something. Currently there are just over 40 scenarios that you can play. That will grow. So when you sign up, you essentially get access to all these games for a year. Currently it's £5 because the game is in beta mode, which means I'm still developing it, which means there are still errors and things that need tweaking and things that are just being developed. Once I've got beyond that stage and I'm happy that it's pretty much good to go, I will start charging more, maybe £20, maybe £30 for a year's membership, etc, etc. So it's nothing special. I'm not particularly commercial. I'm not really a commercial sort of enterprise. It's just something that I've been thinking, well, if only something like that existed, and I've created it. So, and I have fun doing it. So, and I think you will too if you're into these old style counter hex type games. Now, essentially, once you've paid, you'll be able to log in. I won't go through the process now, and then it will say welcome. It will actually say welcome your email address. You then basically flip to the game that you want to play. So I'm going to start getting straight into the game. So, and it will have this, play now. You only see that when you're signed in. If you're not signed in, it will probably say sign up now. When you sign up, you just enter an email address and password and pay your money, and then you'll be able to log in. If you have any problems, contact details are there. Rules, etc. here. So I'm basically going to get into this because I want to just give you a basic overview. Now the game is, I've just clicked play, so now I'm in play mode. The game is designed to be very simple and easy to use. So there's no sort of additional complex features that you need to get to grips with. Essentially, you can see the gameplay here. There are reinforcements on this game. For example, if I just go back and actually look at that, you can see the list of belligerents, but for the US you can see that on turn 20 they get the 9th Division, 1st Battalion, 9th Division come on at turn 20. So some games there are more reinforcements than others. Some games start off with nothing on the board. They will come on at one line. Currently it's the United States turn, and I'm not going to play this competitively, but I'm just going to give you an idea of how it works. So essentially, I'm going to try and cover most things. Why I've sort of chosen this game, but I tend to record these and then realise that I haven't covered anything. The units are on the board as they are. There is air power. To move a unit, let's start off with this unit here. We can put our mouse over it and it gives you some gibberish about it. There's nothing particularly special about that at the moment, but you can see he's got 7 movement points. He's located at point 40 or point 40. He's got 7 movement points, no fatigues, and it's not dug in. There are terrain charts for mechanized infantry. I don't know how much it costs to get into this hex. It's probably jungle. But to move, I just put my mouse over the unit. I do a left click, and I just drag it there, and it moves. It's as simple as that. There's no need to sort of learn lots of different things. Now, essentially, if you move into a zone of control, your movement stops, but you've still got you've still got virtual movement left if, for example, you wanted to move into this hex, do a combat, you could still do some fighting. If I was to move into this hex with no movement points left, I wouldn't be able to engage in combat. Now, a lot of this stuff, essentially, you'll get to grips with when you just start playing it. So I think what I'm going to do is just move some units in close. Now I'm playing like this because I don't want the Viet Cong escaping like it did yesterday. However, there's still a gap there. So that's that. Now I do have some air power, so I will, to use air power on my turn, I just grab the unit and just move it to wherever you want. Now I'm going to go for this unit here. That takes us through to a combat screen. Now there's several combat screens. This is the air combat screen. It only shows you the attacking forces, the ground hex that you're targeting, and the air defense that is local to defend those units. As you can see, the Viet Cong have quite a lot of air power, air defense. I'm going to commit two airstrikes onto this set of units. I'm hoping to get a 1-to-1. You can look at the odds in your own time. We'll attack that. I don't know what it's going to be. I guessed right. As you can see, his air power, his air defense units, he had 4 strikes on each unit. No, he had 1 strike on each unit, which was totaled up as a total of 6, 12, 24, 30, and then this would have probably counted up to 1.35. So he had a good chance of getting me, because it's on a 1 to 70 roll. Anything under 35 would have got a result. So he had 2 chances. One of my airstrikes was essentially compromised and only went in at half strength. I can get shot down. So that leaves this unit fatigued or depressed, and which is the name of the game. So I've got another round of airstrikes, and I think that this time I will go for this artillery unit. Now I'm not playing it particularly competitively, I'm just really trying to squeeze through and show some mechanics gameplay. So again, I haven't really calculated the odds. 1-to-1, this time I got an exchange, but there was no air defense affecting my aircraft, so they got through okay. Now, and essentially it's a game of strategy, obviously. But you might think, well, if I've got air power and he's got air defense, should I go for the air defense first, or do I want to go for these units or those units? At the moment, we don't currently have this particular rule, but it's in the process of being put in sort of imminently. So by the time you actually see this, it's probably done. But tanks will be 1.5 times versus infantry if they're on their own. Similarly, there are other sort of like scissor, paper, stone type combinations. Infantry attacking armor on their own at half power. Armor versus mechanized will be at something like 1.25, and similarly against motorized they'll be at like 1.5 or 1.7. There'll be factors, so essentially tank armor will have a better effect. Now I've sort of this unit here, they're all NATO symbols, so you can see these are paratroopers, this is air mobile. There's no air mobile rules in at the moment, but they are air mobile units. In theory, air mobile units will be able to come on and off the map at particular rates. But similarly, I've done the airstrikes, but this artillery unit, I might like to fire that against this unit here. Now, just to put it into perspective, it's got a range of 4, which can be seen in that top corner there. So if I move him into there, you'll see now I've got the combat screen. Now I don't have any units around that hex. These are the surrounding hex for the hex that I've targeted. So to attack that, I just click that and it does the odds. It was 1-to-2, and AR on artillery is no result. That would have been an attacker retreat, i.e. me, because I'm artillery. There's no result. Now I'm not going to move. I'm just going to move this unit there and this unit there, maybe just to sort of close this in a bit. I actually maybe just move some of these units a little further forward. Okay, now I'm going to end the turn because time is really swishing by. And that gives me now the Vietnamese turn. Now, basically, you can only play this solo at the moment, but there will be, once I get the demand, people saying, oh, I'd like to play this remotely, you will be able to actually play with other people that are signed up by essentially sharing, well, by entering appropriate IP addresses. So you would put, your IP would automatically be put in, but if you invited another guest, you would ask for their IP address, you'd enter it, and when they signed in, they would actually be able to see the game and they'd be able to play it at their end. There's no real-time movement. Another thing to point out in this game, there's no artificial intelligence. It's all manual. It's all, you play it on your own. The computer doesn't play against you. I'm really not into that kind of stuff, and plus I couldn't do it. It's pretty complex. So essentially, it's ideal for exploring scenarios like this, which is the I can never remember what this one is. Operation Junction City, which is a Vietnam campaign where they built an anvil, and then this armor is the hammer, so to smash the Viet Cong against the anvil, which is all these units set up here waiting for them to go that way. So essentially, the Viet Cong don't have any air power, but they've got some artillery and they've got lots of rockets. So I think in this instance they're going to fire at something. Tentatively speaking, I don't really know what, but I think what they're going to try and do is say, well, this is the weak spot. We want to get out of here into Cambodia. I think the best way is to go this way. So he's going to fire his artillery. Now, got quite a lot of artillery and rockets. He's also got 2 units, and so I think we're just going to put everything in there just to see what combat result looks like. Had 5-to-1 odds and got a defender eliminated, which was good for the Viet Cong. So American players should maybe have thought a little bit more about putting heavier troop densities in that particular part. Now that leaves the that took 2 movement points, which means they can't advance. They don't have the movement points to advance into that. So essentially, it would have been nice to have made an advance if they had some mechanized troops, or they were in open terrain, or something, or they were on a road, or something along those lines. Other attacks, not really. So I'll end the turn there. So again, you end the turn, back through to the American player. American player can think, well, that was pretty tough. I will at least try and reinforce this flank, stop them getting out. But that was pretty risky there. I will do some air assaults, maybe 2 units against that in exchange. So that's at least causing some fatigues on these units. Another one on this one, maybe. That was basically shot down by. It was aborted caused by all the air defense units. Back to the game, and finally I will do an assault against this stack here. As you can see, I've got a lot of units, so no artillery to support that for some reason. I've got 3-to-1 odds, defender retreat. So what you can see is the defender retreated into this hex. I've got mechanized units, so that is ideal for advancing into the hex. And in theory, he should still have some movement, which means I could follow that attack up again, or follow it into that hex there. So, for example, I'm just rushing this one through. 1-to-1 odds, defender retreat. So I actually got another successful result there, but I don't have the manpower to advance into that, but I could if I wanted from there. But this unit is now fairly fatigued. So essentially, in a nutshell, it's a fairly dynamic, simple, easy to play, intuitive game. You sign up entire year, play all the games as many times as you want. I hope you enjoy that.